In 2019, I was on a flight to Kabul via Istanbul. It was full of young men in their 20s and 30s, looking lost. After 30 minutes on the runway, the captain announced that because of the bad weather and for reasons beyond his control, the plane was indefinitely delayed. With an emotionless voice, he added that we could leave the plane, but had to wait for the policemen to complete the formalities to get the deportees off the plane. The young Afghan men on the plane were therefore some of those who had arrived illegally to Europe and that many European countries were now trying to send back to Afghanistan. Currently, there are around 2.6 million registered Afghan refugees across the globe. The moral panic and fear around refugees has influenced foreign policy. In late 2020, the European Union and the Afghan government entered into negotiations to extend the Joint Way Forward, an informal agreement they signed in 2016 to facilitate the repatriation of Afghans who came to Europe to seek protection. Such schemes are very detrimental to Afghan refugees. According to the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, 40% of returnees are unable to go back to their original communities. Some were born abroad and had never been to Afghanistan before, rendering the concept of return a fallacy. The repatriation process is also unable to compensate for lost assets, making returns futile. Moreover, the security situation in Afghanistan has been constantly deteriorating. In 2019 alone, conflict and violence displaced almost 500,000 people in 32 of the 34 provinces of Afghanistan. In the first 6 months of 2021, 5,321 civilians were killed or injured, an 80% increase compared to the same period of 2020. On the other hand, life in Europe is not easy for Afghan refugees either. The police in Paris were seen attacking Afghan refugees on the street. The UK deported over 15,000 Afghans to war-torn Afghanistan between 2008 and 2020. German authorities recorded more than 1,600 attacks on refugees and asylum seekers in 2019 alone. The global response to the current situation does not inspire confidence. The EU is now emphasizing the need to protect themselves from new immigrant flows. Sebastian Kurz, the Austrian Prime Minister, claimed that Turkey will be a more suitable place for Afghan refugees. Turkey, in the meantime, has been building a concrete wall along its border with Iran to prevent the influx of immigrants from Afghanistan. Data from the State Department show that the US has accepted fewer than 500 refugees from Afghanistan in the first months of 2021. India initially promised asylum only to Hindus and Sikhs, before claiming it would provide e-visas irrespective of religion. At a time that calls for global solidarity, the Afghan people are met with global apathy instead. Fear is making us blind. We look away to avoid taking a stance. Apathy facilitates fascism. Staying silent means complicity. But alone, one cannot overcome the insurmountable barriers of indifference. The choice of solidarity, the choice of humanity, is inevitably a collective one. Spoken out loud, suffered and felt with a shared heart.